Of Hollow Knight. It is an independent game company, and I'm here to show you some of the best aspects of it. So, if we review the reviews on Steam, it's gotten high ratings. It's been criticized as being the most artistic game in 2017. I mean, also personally, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best Metroidvanias out there that exists. And yeah, here are some questions that I'm going to have you to consider while you're looking through the presentation and gameplay, which I will be doing live in front of this screen and this entire audience. Who was the Pale King? What was the infection caused by? What boss is influenced by Halloween? And who created Hollow Knight, the game? Very straightforward, nothing too complicated. Alright? You guys got it?
Yeah.
Just take a picture of it. It's not that critical. So, Alright, so what is Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight is a game that is revolving around bugs. We all usually see a bug and we usually smash it because we don't like them, right? But this game brings more sentience to them. So it takes place in a fantasy world in the kingdom of Hallownest. And Hallownest is a cursed kingdom. It has been given an infection. All the residents are basically dead, have been for the various amount of years, and they've been basically reanimated by a being, which I will get into later. So basically, it is your job as the protagonist, known as the Knight, to lift the kingdom from this curse. All right? And the entire game is 2D animated. So that's another good part about it. All right? So we're going to take a look at who created Hollow Knight. It's Team Cherry, Ara Gibson, William Pellin, and Jack Vine. All three of these guys are the only ones that have worked on the game. And considering how big the game has become, it is a lot of work. And of course, to make Hollow Knight from the beginning till 2017, it took 7 years. I know, 7 years. And yeah, and our illustrators are Ara Gibson and William Pellin, and Jack Vine is the guy that worked in Unity. Originally, the game was going to be created in a simpler software, but they needed to hire Vine to get the Unity engine working good. And then we're going to have to introduce you to this wonderful, talented man, Christopher Larkin. The music is absolutely amazing. He created the soundtracks, Gods and Nightmares, the Hollow Knight original soundtrack. He is the composer of everything. Every single piece of music, it is amazing. Like, once you take a listen into the Grimm Troupe later, you'll see what I mean.
Right? The rival of Hans Zimmer?
No. Alright, so I'm going to introduce you, here's a map of Hallownest. You will get to explore every part of the kingdom in the game. So here's the surface right here. All of this is the kingdom you're exploring. In the game, it's actually a lot more bigger. You can see the city, which is the capital, Fungal Wastes, Forgotten Crossroads, Resting Grounds, Crystal Peak, Hive, Ancient Basin, which is where White Palace is, but we'll get into that later, Queen's Gardens, etc., etc. Just do note that this is a ruined kingdom. There's no people alive, or bugs alive. They all got killed by the infection.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to get into some lore. The lore, it's really big, and it's so much that you can't fit it into just this 10-minute session. So getting into the infection, basically before Hallownest was founded, there were a bunch of tribes together, known as like moths, mantises, bees, all of those, and came along a being known as the Pale King, who tried to unite all these kingdoms together. And he managed to be successful for a while, but then the moth tribe had a higher being, which is God, which was known as Radiance. And basically, Radiance got pretty pissed off that Pale King was being looked up to instead, and the moths basically discarded her as being worshipped. And basically, Radiance infected the dreams of the bugs and caused the infection. So basically, it was Radiance's fault. It's not quite sure if she did it intentionally or not, but yeah. You can tell if we look into the different forms of these bugs. Here's a normal mantis from the mantis tribe, and this is the infected form. And infection basically makes them stronger, and it corrupts their mind. It takes the will away from them. It's like a hive mind. And here's more. Vessels, lost kin, pure vessel, and this is our protagonist right here, the Knight, and these are the infected forms of them. So you can see it's pretty bad. Alright, so here's some basic blend gameplay mechanics you should know. It's the nail, it's your normal sword basically, and when you strike enemies, you get soul. Soul is a mechanic that encourages aggressive gameplay, and basically for every, when you gain soul, you can cast spells or heal. So the only way to heal is if you strike enemies enough times. That way you can harvest it. And charms are special items that give the knight special capabilities such as faster healing, speed, being able to dash through items, etc., and setting adventures. But today, here's an example of this. There are 42 charms, I think. Pretty sure, I think. These are all the charms in the game. And here, mostly the thing I'm going to be presenting is the Grimm Troupe. All right. So the Grimm Troupe is a traveling circus, kind of like a circus. It is their ritual to basically serve to a higher being known as the Nightmare Heart. And what happens is that the Grimm, which is this guy right here, the only way for the Nightmare Heart to stay alive would be to create a child known as Grimm Child, kill the father, feed it to the child, and to the Nightmare Heart. So it's pretty gruesome, but yeah, you get the point. And I have some more questions, because everyone likes this. We're going to be taking a look at the Grimm Troupe live gameplay. So I want you to consider, while I'm doing this gameplay, see the attack methods, the boss theme music, color tones and schemes, and the design of the characters, and how they are influenced by Halloween. Alright? So I'm going to turn up the volume here. This is supposed to be, make sure that's one. I think it's come only out from here. Alright, we may do. So, we're going to be fighting, I'm going to be fighting, we're going to be giving a basic demo of what's going to be happening. So that's the Grimm Troupe, we're going to be fighting him. We're going to be taking a nice look at how the gameplay is of boss fights. And if you dream now, there's the ritual. And notice, I want you to look at Grimm, who looks a lot like a vampire.
Oh.
And you see I'm casting spells. Every time when I hit Grimm, you can see the soul meter increasing. And with soul, I can heal, just like so. And if you listen to the music, it sounds a lot like a circus, doesn't it? Because it basically is. And the audience in the background is basically cheering on for the show. And some of these moves are pretty predictable. Every time when Grimm turns into a pufferfish, it means he's losing health. So that's how some of these are pretty predictable. And you just stand in the middle and cast an abyss streak.
Nope.
Sorry about that.
Dang, fuck, you're doing too good.
And the parry attacks are basically when you strike when he's striking you, which gives you a bit of an iframe there for a moment. And that's, every time he turns into this bat, it just means he's staggered for a moment. It's not too big.
Hey, take that.
Give it a moment, he'll reappear, and we'll see the dialogue and use of English that he uses. He uses Old English. As you can see, it's not like casual, masterful, or even a vessel discard. And basically, vessels are created by the Pale King as a way to contain the infection. So basically, he's telling us bravo about the work we have done for him, and we will continue the ritual on later, which would be the Nightmare King. And here's the reward. It's a charm notch, I think. Pretty sure. So charm notch is basically the ability to hold more charms in your inventory. As you can see, each charm shakes up a notch, and there's the extra notch.
And a little Grimm too.
30 more seconds. All right. So, what did you notice about the Grimm Troupe? You probably noticed that Grimm originally comes from Grimm's fairy tales, the vampire look that Grimm has, and resembles vampires. Follows the troupe carnival represent carnival-like patterns and designs. As you can see, the weavings on the tent. And clowns, as you can notice by their straight face with the marks on it. And the red color scheme is usually associated with nightmares and blood. And now for some influence on society and on the game. Hollow Knight, according to Art Gibson, was inspired by an anime film called Angel's Egg from 1985. The original intent of this game was actually not supposed to be a Metroidvania. It was meant to be just adventure, but as more updates and DLCs were provided, it moved closer towards the game, that genre. So the thing is that the fact that this small team of 3 to 4 people, including Larkin, which was the music you heard, they were able to dish out company quality games. And it shows you how powerful that indie games have become in modern day. And how people can really, if they push themselves to the limits, they have a lot of potential. So just to let you know that each one of you has potential in yourselves to create something like this. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you. It's very good.